Here's something strange about being human. You can read 5 words on a screen and, by lunchtime, you've already had the fight, lost the job, told your partner the bad news, and started mentally rewriting your resume. The email said, "Can we talk?" That's it. 3 syllables. And somehow your nervous system treated it like a court summons. If that sounds familiar, even a little embarrassingly familiar, stay with me. Because what we're going to look at today is a quiet, practical idea. Your mind is running on faulty programming. Not broken. Not bad. Just inherited, old code that turns ordinary moments into threats. And something deeper in you already knows how to correct it. We're also going to look at a second idea that pairs with the first, that giving and receiving aren't 2 separate things. The moment you extend a little patience or goodwill to someone else, you're the first person who feels it. Together, these 2 ideas dismantle the 2 biggest sources of daily suffering: believing your worst interpretation is accurate, and feeling like you're always either losing something or being taken from. This isn't theology. It's perception maintenance. Imagine you've been wearing slightly tinted glasses your entire life. Not dark glasses. Not obvious. Just enough of a tint to make everything look a little more threatening than it actually is. A little more unfair. A little more personal. You don't question the tint because you've never seen without it. To you, this is asterisk what the world looks like. So when the email arrives, "Can we talk?" your mind doesn't see 5 neutral words. It sees 5 tinted words. Words filtered through every previous time someone wanted to talk and it wasn't good. The tint adds the threat. The tint writes the screenplay. By the time you're walking into the meeting, you've already lived through 3 versions of the worst-case scenario. Your stomach is tight. Your shoulders are up around your ears. You're rehearsing your defense. And then your colleague says, "Hey, would you be willing to cover the Henderson project while I'm on vacation next month?" That's it. That's the whole thing. 5 words. You wrote a novel. Here's the part most of us never notice. The novel felt like truth. Not like a guess. Not like a possibility. Like a report. Like CNN. Breaking news. This is what's happening. Your mind wasn't presenting one interpretation among many. It was presenting the only interpretation. And presenting it as fact. That's the faulty programming. Your mind isn't reporting reality. It's authoring asterisk it. It has been authoring it your whole life, without asking your permission, and presenting the manuscript to you as the evening news. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. The tight stomach before the meeting. That wasn't a response to the email. That was a response to the novel your mind wrote about asterisk the email. The email itself was neutral. The novel was the source of all the suffering. And notice, this isn't just about emails. It's the silence from a friend you assume means they're upset with you. It's the look on your partner's face you decide is disappointment when actually they're just tired. It's the tone in your boss's voice you interpret as criticism when it's just Monday. Every single day, dozens of times, your mind takes neutral input and runs it through the tint, and hands you back a story that feels like fact. Here's where the first idea lands. and it lands gently. There's something in you, call it a deeper knowing, call it clarity, call it whatever language doesn't make you roll your eyes, that already knows how to correct these errors. You don't have to fight the novel. You don't have to argue with your own mind. You don't have to white-knuckle your way into a better mood. You just have to be willing to ask a single question. What if I'm wrong about this? Not as self-blame, not as, I'm an idiot for spiraling again, but as relief, as a door cracking open. What if the verdict isn't final? What if the screenplay I just wrote isn't the only version available? The moment you ask that question honestly, the grip loosens. You haven't solved anything yet. You haven't gotten any new information, but the certainty that was crushing you a moment ago has softened into a question. And questions, unlike verdicts, leave room for something else to enter. This is what it means to discover the glasses exist. You don't have to rip them off in a dramatic moment of awakening. You just have to notice the tint. Noticing is already the beginning of removing. Now here's the second idea, and at first it sounds almost too simple to matter. Giving and receiving are the same movement. Not similar. Not connected, the same. Most of us live as if we're keeping a quiet ledger. I gave them this much patience. They owe me that much back. I was generous on Tuesday, so I'm allowed to be short on Wednesday. We track. We score. We feel taken from when the ledger doesn't balance. But try this. The next time you extend genuine patience to someone, a slow cashier, a confused parent on the phone, the colleague who sent the cryptic email, notice who actually feels the patience first. It's not them, it's you. You are the first person inside the room when patience enters. You are the first one to feel goodwill warm the space. They might not even notice, but you can't extend it without receiving it, because the extending is the receiving. This quietly destroys the ledger, because if giving and receiving are the same act, there's nothing to keep score of. You're not losing anything by being generous. You're not being drained when you extend understanding. You're the first beneficiary every single time. So let's bring this home. Tomorrow, an email is going to land in your inbox, or a text, or a look across the kitchen, and your mind is going to start writing. That's fine, that's what minds do. You're not trying to stop the writing, you're just going to notice the tint. Notice that what feels like a report is actually a rough draft. And you're going to ask, quietly, without drama, what if I'm wrong about this? That's it, that's the whole practice. The correction happens on its own when you stop insisting the first draft is final. And when you find yourself in a moment where you could extend a little patience to the person on the other end of the email, or to yourself for spiraling about it, extend it. Not because you should. Not because you're trying to be a better person, but because you'll notice, almost immediately, that you're the first one to feel the relief. The glasses come off slowly. Not all at once, but every time you let someone else see more clearly. Every time you give them the benefit of the doubt your mind didn't want to give, your own vision sharpens too. The email was 5 words. Your mind wrote a novel. And now, finally, you know the difference. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let's take a few minutes to let this settle. Find a position where your body can soften. Shoulders down, jaw unclenched. Hands resting. Let the breath arrive on its own. You don't have to deepen it, just notice it's already there, doing its work without your help. Feel the surface underneath you. The chair. The floor. Something is holding you up that doesn't require your effort. Now bring to mind, gently, one small thing your mind has been writing a story about lately. A message. A silence. A look. You don't have to fix it, just notice it's there. And notice, that's the novel, that's the tint. Let it be a rough draft. Not a verdict, just a draft. Breathe. Underneath the story, there's something quieter, something that hasn't been arguing all day. Something that doesn't need to be right. Let your attention rest there for a moment. No conclusions, no solutions. Just rest. If a soft thought comes, what if I'm wrong about this? Let it pass through like a window opening. You don't have to answer it. The question itself is the medicine. Feel how the chest can soften when nothing has to be defended. Feel how the shoulders can drop when no ledger is being kept. If you want, silently offer a little patience to someone you've been keeping score with. Maybe a coworker. Maybe yourself. Notice who feels it first. It's you. It's always been you. Rest here for a few more breaths. Nothing to give. Nothing to receive. Just the same quiet movement happening in both directions at once. When you're ready, let your awareness widen. The sounds in the room, the light, the weight of your body returning to the day. Bring this softness with you. Not as a technique, just as a way of carrying yourself for the next hour. And whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a link to a free digital copy of ACIM in the description. And if this video resonated with you, please comment. I am grateful. Thank you for being here. For slowing down long enough to look at something most of us spend our whole lives never noticing. The mind will keep writing its novels, that's okay. You just get to stop treating every first draft as the final word. Be gentle with yourself today. The grip loosens on its own when you stop holding so tightly. I'll see you in the next one.